the age-old days of people using loans to repay pretty much everything, it's no surprise these loan companies are finally getting bit in the arse. Klarna, one of probably the biggest pay-later schemes, is actually, well, they're in trouble. They're losing quite a lot of money. And are we surprised? Absolutely no. I don't know what they expected from this whole fiasco. I don't know what they expected at all, considering half the people who are actually using these schemes, like Klarna, WePay is it or something like that, and many other schemes that actually pretty much let you pay later, they're all failing because, well, half the people doing it are doing it because they can't afford shit in the first place. And these companies seem to think, oh, well, if people can't afford stuff, they'll just pay us back at a later date. And of course, that doesn't really help your company out. Now, this is from the Financial Times. Klarna's loss widened after more consumers failed to repay loans. Buy now, pay later groups weaken results come to as concerns rise about the financial health of US consumers. Wow, you don't say. Klarna's net loss more than doubled in the first quarter as consumers failed to repay loans from the Swedish buy now, pay later lender, and concerns rose about the financial health of US consumers. The fintech, which offers interest-free consumer loans to allow customers pay retail on Monday, reported a net loss of $99 million for the 3 months up to March, and from $47 million a year earlier. The company, which makes money by charging fees to merchants and to consumers who fail to repay on time, said its consumer credit loss had risen to $136 million, a 17% year-on-year increase. Holy shit. Now, it's mostly clothes people buy this stuff on. Like, it's a very, I'm not lying, it's a very good scheme. I think it's over like $300 or something like that. Anything over $300, you can use the service. And quite a lot of websites, I think WePay is another one as well. A lot of services. I think someone got I think it was WePay or something like that. Actually got a deal with DoorDash, and it became quite a thing. It made some headlines about the fact that you need to pay later on a DoorDash meal, and there unfortunately is a thing on most delivery apps now. They'll essentially, you can buy now and then pay later schemes. They're taking over pretty much everything, and unfortunately these companies seem to think this is a great thing. No, people aren't going to fucking pay you back. That's a lot of money to lose, and again, they're going to keep getting eaten. Yes, they can report it to credit agencies and stuff like that. I don't think these people who are actually buying stuff with Klarna, I don't think they actually give a shit about their credit score, clearly. They're completely rinsing and doing it. And then every month they'll probably check their bank balance and it'll be just declined. And all it'll show is Klarna payments, like hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of them being declined. Why? Because they don't care about them. They think it's free. And of course Klarna, they can try and charge them late fees and stuff. But if they're not going to pay, well, charging them a late fee is a pretty stupid thing to do. It doesn't make any sense to charge a late fee because, well, they're not going to pay that either. So, the increased failure to repay comes from the back of gloomy economics statement in the US, where a closely watched measure of consumers' confidence last week fell into the second-hand lowest on record. US President Donald Trump's trade war has driven expectations of higher inflation. Klarna results come weeks after the Swedish group was forced to pause its plan for long-awaited stock market listing in New York as Trump's sweeping tariffs announced upended markets. Klarna has focused on growing aggressively in the US in recent years, signing partnerships with merchants including DoorDash. They signed with DoorDash, Walmart and eBay. The push into America has risen the concerns about the group's vulnerability to the US recession. Yes, that's the main thing. That what happens is when you go on eBay. I went to go on eBay and then I went to go into my payment settings to actually, sort which card I'm using. And the first thing it comes up, it says, would you like to use Klarna? No, thank you. I don't want to pay monthly on something because I know, for instance, that shit is a waste of time. I don't know why they thought, and I'm not saying it's a bad idea in all sense, but having clothes and stuff like that on Klarna is pretty stupid. That just shows you how fucked the economy is. If people are financing DoorDash meals and financing clothes, that tells you what's going on in the economy. People aren't getting paid shit. If they can't even afford some decent shit that they want, and they have to just finance everything and build up a debt in their own... Well, yeah, the debt might come to them, but let's be honest, who is actually getting financially hit more? Klarna and many other these financial schemes that, let you pay over a certain amount of months and you can increase, and I think they increase it if you're late, they increase it more. But again, I can imagine there are millions and millions of customers who use Klarna who are just not paying. They know they've got a payment every month, but they're like, oh, well, it's kind of free. They think this shit is free. And of course, the only one getting hurt, yeah, their credit score might be getting hurt. I don't think they care about that, to be honest. I don't think they care at all. You guys continue to allow them to keep spending shit on Klarna. The money's got to come from somewhere. And of course, Klarna pays the money to these merchants and basically I think they buy them off them and essentially hand it off to you. And having 0 interest loans is pretty stupid as well, because you can't make any money off that. That's the whole point for interest. It's so companies, banks and stuff like that can actually make money from the loan. They need to make extra money from the loan. That's how it unfortunately works. And you doing interest loans where all you're doing is getting the exact amount of money you spent and used back. So there's no real room for growth in any way, shape or form. And I'm sure shareholders are probably not looking at this in a nice fashion as well. They're probably looking at this like, oh shit, this is quite scary stuff. Klarna said it had closely monitoring the changes in microeconomic environment and remains well positioned to adapt swiftly if required. It said a short generation of its loan, 83% of its loan book, refreshes within 3 months, allowed to respond rapidly to evolving market conditions. Klarna's credit loss rate as a percentage of its total payments remain relatively low at 0.54%, up from 0.51% a year ago. Revenues in the first quarter rose 13% year on year to 701 million, as the company counted 99 million active customers. Wow. That's a lot. Holy shit. Klarna, which presented Monday's earnings with an AI-generated avatar, oh god, of its chief executive, has bet heavily on the artificial intelligence and has said that technology helps to cut costs. The group reduced its total headcount by 39% in the past 2 years, while its customer service costs were down 12%. The company is also battling an increase in funding costs, which have risen 15% year on year to 130 million. Wow. And of course, they were apparently going to be releasing or coming onto the stock market as well, which is pretty crazy. Wow. Not surprising at all. They know the business they're getting into, and maybe this might be a bit of a shock to people. Not a shock to me, though. The buy now, pay later scheme has always seemed sort of aggressive and manipulative, and of course, people look at that and they're like, oh wow, I can buy this now and then pay it in a few months. That seems really reasonable and actually probably financially better for me. And then when it comes to actually paying, they're like, oh man, do I really have to pay this shit? Do I really have to waste my money paying this? And like, oh, well, I'm not gonna pay it for a few more months and this, and they just continue to let it soak up. They probably charge them a late fee, but they don't care. A lot of people, there are videos out there of people like bragging almost that the fact they're not going to actually spend, or they're not going to bother with wasting their money, which, yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. It's Klarna, and I think we pay as well. Having that on DoorDash is like people, oh, you want McDonald's? I thought you said you didn't have any money. Oh, well, they've introduced this new thing called Klarna, where you can pretty much finance your Burger King or McDonald's meal, and spread it over the cost of a few weeks or months. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's 2025, people. What will we get in 2020? Maybe flying cars? No. People will be able to spread the cost of their fucking meal like a mortgage or a car payment. What a world we live in now. But of course, no surprise at all. These companies are probably going to get even more financial hit. Now, I'm not saying everyone who uses Klarna isn't paying on time, but I do think they're going a little too extreme, especially making people or giving people the option to finance or spread the monthly or spread weekly cost of their McDonald's meal or Burger King meal or whatever meal. It seemed a little bit stupid in my opinion, and it just seems maybe they're trying to expose the truth that the country has failed. I'm not too sure, but either way, holy shit, that just shows you how bad the country is if people are financing fucking McDonald's Happy Meals and shit like that. Holy God, I fear for this country's or the world's, or America even as well, because that's probably a significant amount of people doing it. I fear for the future of them, because holy shit, if they can't afford these simple meals or they're having to pay monthly on them, I really fear for how much they're making. Holy shit, they can't be making a lot. But either way, the future of this is not going anywhere. People are going to be paying monthly for shit like this a while. In my opinion, I just think it's quite stupid, and you'll probably realise and look back later in life when you're older of why the fuck did I ended up financing that McDonald's meal or ended up wasting so much money on Klarna and just pay monthlying stuff when I could have probably done something different. I don't know. Either way, it just seems pretty stupid in my opinion. But I guess that's what the whole point is. But yeah, it's no surprise that things like this fail. And to be honest with you, I kind of hope they do fail. They deserve it. Preying on their financially weak people, especially going with the meal. When I saw it on DoorDash and like Deliveroo in the UK, it just shocked me. It was like, why the fuck do we need this on a delivery app? But again, it's no surprise. People can't afford shit, so they go and use services like this. And of course, services like this struggle when they realise people aren't paying them back. What a surprise.